Welcome back to another episode of Flick News. My name's Izola, and if you're new here, welcome. This is a segment on FlickDirect where I tell you what's happened in entertainment news throughout the week. So grab your popcorn, sit back, relax, and let's get this started. It was announced this week that the showrunners of Cowboy Bebop, Josh Applebaum and Andre Nemec, would be the writers of the new Space Mountain movie. Space Mountain was built in 1975 at the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida, and 2 years later, Disneyland got their own as well. And of course, it's been a staple at all the other theme parks that have been built. For those of you who haven't been on the ride, there's really no plot line or characters. So this means that the duo has a blank slate to work with. But the more I think about it, I'm not entirely sure why they would choose Space Mountain if there is no storyline or characters that we are in love with, like Pirates of the Caribbean or even Haunted Mansion. It could work in their favor because it's space, but it really doesn't need the Space Mountain name unless if Disney just wants another movie under their belt. This movie has been in the works for several years, and it has gone through writers. So let's hope that these two can actually get something started. We're not really going to know what's going to happen until we see some trailers or if someone leaks some information. Maybe we'll get something at D23. Paramount has announced that they have a new release date for the Transformers movie, Transformers 1. This is an animated origin story that stars Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, and Brian Tyree Henry. I wasn't able to watch the trailer during its release, so I recently went to YouTube and gave it a watch. This movie looks like it's going to be so good. I don't know if I'm saying that because of nostalgia, but it really was fun. It had action. It had comedy. And honestly, who doesn't want to learn who Optimus Prime was before he was Optimus Prime? Or how they lived without being able to transform, and what they had to do to get that transformation. The one thing I do have to say is that I don't know if I'm a huge fan of this particular art style, but the trailer gives it a feel like it is actually going to work for this type of movie. I'm really excited for this movie, and I hope that they didn't put all of their eggs into the trailer basket. I think we've seen time and time again when a trailer is released, a lot of the good bits are normally in the trailer, and then we feel let down when we watch the movie. I have high hopes for this one. How do you feel? So I read recently that the new trailer for James Bond had come out, and it was starring Henry Cavill. Well, first, I didn't know they got Henry Cavill to do the movie. Second, I didn't even know they started filming. So obviously there were some red flags popping up. But the super sleuth that I am decided to go watch the trailer to see what was going on. And you could honestly tell in the first few seconds, it was AI generated. But it was fun to watch, so I still kept watching. It showed some scenes from previous movies, and it was honestly really well done. But what really surprised me was how many people had already viewed this trailer before I did. It was over 2.3 million. So obviously people were really excited to hear that Henry Cavill was going to be James Bond. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to see him as 007. But honestly, my first pick is actually Idris Elba. They're both great actors, but for some reason, I have just always had it in my head that he needed to play James Bond, especially after Daniel Craig retired. Now, last I heard, Aaron Taylor Johnson was offered the role, but I have to do some more research in that because I'm not entirely sure if he accepted. Honestly, that one would work too. I mean, he's starred in Kick-Ass, and he was also in Bullet Train, which was hilarious. If you haven't seen Bullet Train, after this is over, you need to go run and watch it. It was action-packed, hilarious, and he did such a good job in this movie. So what are your thoughts? Would you want to see Henry Cavill as 007? What about Idris Elba? How do you think Aaron Taylor Johnson would do? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below and I'll check them out. Now, I haven't mentioned this much, but I am a huge gamer. I've been playing video games since I was a wee lass, and I will probably play them until the day I die. So when it was announced by Paramount that Keanu Reeves would be playing the role of Shadow in the new Sonic movie, I got super excited. Now, Shadow first showed up in 2001 in the Sega game, and he was dark and moody. He was basically the complete opposite of Sonic, except for his strength. So it always made their fights pretty even. If you haven't played Cyberpunk, one, I recommend you do. It did have some glitches in the beginning, but they've worked them all out. Word of advice, don't ever play a video game right when it's released, because there's always so many fixes that come through. But anyway, if you go to YouTube, you can actually see some gameplays, and you'll see Keanu Reeves playing this dark, moody character. And it's really good. That was probably the most entertaining part of the game. And that's why I primarily bought it, because I just wanted to see his character up on my television. Sonic 3 will be released on December 20th, so we have a little bit of time before we start getting those trailers. Hopefully we'll get them soon, or at least some leaked information so we can hear a little bit more about the plot. And with that, this concludes this week's movie news. Please be sure to like and subscribe to both of our channels, and visit FlickDirect.com for more detailed breakdowns of everything we discuss. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. Bye!